Ford Archives with us today, and we together have decided that probably the best way to give you an overview of what we do and how we work together is to look through the past. So let's go back, let's go to the next slide if you will. All right, Ford has amassed an extraordinary archive. Why are these so important?
Well, first off, what we do is try and capture materials of all sorts from around the world and preserve it so that we keep track of ourselves. But also, the key thing that we do is share our culture and inspire innovation amongst the various people within the company. It's been a part of our culture since the company was founded. If you see these photos behind us, we have over 3 miles of shelves, millions of negatives, tens of thousands of films and videos, crash tests, and what we do is work to preserve it. And it's acid-free folders, all of the archival science, but then it's storytelling.
Well, and you have an even more daunting task of deciding which are the things that you need to say. What are the ones that are going to help tell the narrative in the best light over time?
Right, absolutely. And we're about transparency, but also curating the story, because there's constantly changing staffing, and people may be very talented at whatever it is that they do, engineers or communications personnel, but they don't know our story. So we have to constantly reach out and tell the story internally.
So I always say that as a futurist, no one can predict the future, and that we tend to always assume that history will repeat itself, and it doesn't necessarily work as the guidepost that we hope, but it does continue to serve as an important foundation for guidance and inspiration, particularly when a new innovation hits the marketplace and how the consumer body will receive it. So what I want to do is ask you if you'll take me and this audience here from around the world back 100+ years, and what a better place to start than here in the Paquette plant. So.
Absolutely.
If you will key up our next slide, which takes us back to 1900s. When Dean and I were preparing for this, I asked him to pick some of his favorite points in time to help tell this Ford narrative. So what is relevant to this particular poster?
This is actually a piece of sheet music that was published in 1900, and it was at the dawn of the new century, obviously. And it's a little hard to see, but there are a number of technologies highlighted in this artwork. And there's a train, and there's a streetcar, and there's an electric dynamo. And there is one car, but it's right next to the figure, and it's an electric car, and it's a city cab. It was used as a taxi cab. So in 1900, they had no vision of the gas engine automobile. It wasn't a mass market. That's not what they envisioned. But Henry Ford did. He'd already built a couple of gas-powered cars by that time. So we think we live in a fast-changing world, which we do. But even 100 years ago, things changed quickly.
So innovation.